Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of these end times. On this program, I want to reveal the hidden secret of these seven thunders as found in the book of Revelation. And when I wrote my book, Revelation Unraveled, a little over 10 years ago, I knew what the seven thunders said, but I didn't identify them as the seven thunders. I knew they were hidden, I knew they were secret, but I didn't realize until just a few weeks ago the real significance of the seven thunders. And I now realize how extremely important they are, especially for those of us living here in the United States. And specifically on this program, I want to ask and answer 8 questions about the seven thunders. And number 1, is it possible to unseal the seven thunders? Number 2, how can they be unsealed? Number 3, why are other parts of the book of Revelation not sealed up? Number 4, why were the seven thunders sealed up in the first place? Number 5, why are they being unsealed now, at this moment, on this program? Number 6, who is it that proclaims the seven thunders in the book of Revelation? Number 7, are they primarily warnings to the United States of America, and in fact to all of the decadent West? And question number 8, what exactly do the seven thunders say? So now let's go through these one by one, and I will eventually get to exactly what all seven thunders say. And the first question I asked was, is it possible to unseal the seven thunders? And of course, I believe now it is possible, even though no one in the entire history of Christianity has ever unsealed these seven thunders. But it is still possible, and I am going to do it today for you. And the second question, how can they be unsealed? Well, St. John sealed up the prophecy of the seven thunders in very much the same way that Daniel sealed up his prophecies of the end times, and that is through a hidden verse and chapter structure, as you can see on this St. John's cryptogram chart. And in fact, I recommend that you go to my website, thirdeaglemedia.com. I will put a link below, and download the cryptogram chart. And this is what it looks like. It's very simple. It's on one page. If you have one of the copies of my book, Revelation Unraveled, this is included. And you can read for yourself what the seven thunders say, because I'm not going to read all verses and chapters. And the next question is, why are parts of Revelation not sealed up? And this is very interesting and the key to understanding why the seven thunders are sealed up. And we go to chapter 22, verse number 10. And he said to me, now this is the angel speaking to St. John on the island of Patmos, where John received this amazing prophecy as found in the book of Revelation. Seal not the words of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. So the angel is telling John that the reason he does not seal up the rest of the book of Revelation is because the time is for his time. For example, the prophecy of the 7 letters to the 7 churches. That was imminent. And that's why John did not seal up that prophecy. And therefore, that gives us the answer to the next 2 questions. Question number 4, why were they sealed up in the first place? And that is the seven thunders. They were sealed up because they were not for John's time. They were not imminent. They are in fact for the end times. They are for our time, this week and this month and this year. The seven thunders are about to be fulfilled. And question number 5, why are they being unsealed now? And I just answered that because it is extremely important for those of us living today, especially here in the United States. Question number 6. Who proclaim the 7 thunders? Okay, let's go to chapter 10, verse number 2. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea and his left foot upon the earth. Now I have determined that this must be the prophet Enoch, because his feet are on both the land and the sea. That means that his mission is to the far-off Gentile nations, both land-locked nations and sea nations. And I have suggested on other programs that this could very well be the Pope Benedict. And of course, as the leader of the Catholic Church, his mission is to far-flung lands. And Enoch continues, he cried with a great voice as a lion roars. And when he cried, the 7 thunders uttered their voices. So Enoch does not enunciate the 7 thunders. Let's find out who does. Verse number 4. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying to me, seal up the things which the 7 thunders have spoken, and write them not. So now let's go and look and see what exactly these 7 thunders are. And they are in fact spoken out loudly by the 7 herald angels. And I discovered these 7 herald angels, as I said, more than 10 years ago when I wrote my book. John enumerates the 7 bowls or vials, the 7 seals, the 7 trumpets, but he does not enumerate the 7 herald angels. And if you have your chart, here's the first herald angel, the second, third, fourth, the 5th, the 6th, then there's an interlude, and then the 7th herald angel. And they are the ones who cry out the 7 thunders. And the first thunder, and I saw another angel flying in mid-heaven. Now mid-heaven usually means the electronic media. I believe this first angel flew during the 20th century. I suspect it's Pope Pius XII. I'm not sure about that. But many of these angels, I believe, symbolize actual human beings. Having the everlasting glad tidings to announce to those settled on the earth and to every nation and tribe and tongue and people. Another thing about these 7 thunders is that they summarize the entire book of Revelation. And that's why in chronological sequence, this is the first thunder. Saying with a loud voice, notice that key phrase, loud voice. 5 of these 7 thunder angels speak with a loud or a strong voice. That is the key to understanding that these 7 herald angels are indeed the 7 thunder angels. Fear the Lord and give him honor, because the hour of his judgment is come, and adore ye him that made heaven and earth, the sea and the fountains and the waters. So, if these 7 thunders are meant to be revealed now, that means that the hour of God's judgment is about to fall upon us. Now, following the first thunder, chronologically speaking, comes the 5th thunder. And those of you who have read my book, you know that the 5th seal follows the first seal. The 5th trumpet follows the first trumpet. The same way with the bowl or vial, the 5th follows the first. Even though they are not numbered that way, that's the true sequence. And therefore, the 5th thunder is, and there came one of the 7 angels who had the 7 vials and spoke with me. Now this is very interesting. One of the vial or bowl angels is doing double duty here. He is also the 5th thunder angel. That's one reason why I think that these angels may very well also symbolize human beings. And spoke with me, saying, come, I will show you the condemnation of the great harlot who sits upon many waters. So now right off the bat, the 2nd thunder is warning about the whore of Babylon. And if you know my other videos, I have been here on YouTube for 7 years telling you that the whore of Babylon is not the Catholic Church. That's a lie from the pit of hell. The Whore of Babylon symbolizes our own decadent Western civilization, primarily Britain and America, and it will be destroyed in 1 hour by the scarlet beast that she rides. The scarlet beast symbolizes international communism. And following the fifth thunder, we come to the second thunder in chapter 14, verse number 8. And another angel followed, saying that great Babylon is fallen, which made all nations to drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So now the second angel sending out a warning, actually the third in the sequence, and once again warning about Babylon. And the fornication refers to America spreading her immorality throughout the world, especially through Hollywood and other forms of entertainment. Hollywood promotes abortion, contraception, sterilization, homosexuality, and now things like transgenderism. All those are evils associated with sexuality, and that's why the angel warns John about Babylon spreading her fornication to the kings of the earth. Now, following the second thunder, actually the third in the sequence, we come to thunder number 6. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and earth was enlightened with his glory, and he cried out with a strong voice. So now here John uses the word strong instead of loud. It means the same thing. Saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. Now this is the past tense. Notice the chronology. But once again, it's a warning to primarily the United States of America. Is fallen and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every unclean spirit, and the hold of every unclean and hateful bird. I'm sure you are beginning to see why I say that these 7 thunders are about to be unleashed. Their time is now, and they are aimed primarily at the country that I live in, the United States of America. Following the 6th thunder is the third thunder, chapter 14, verse number 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, once again, if any man shall adore the beast and his image, and receive his character in his forehead or in his hand, he also shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is mingled with pure wine, in the cup of his wrath, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the sight of the holy angels and in the sight of the Lamb. So this is the first thunder that is not talking about the fall of Babylon. But this is certainly one of the most important parts in the book of Revelation, and that is a warning against taking the mark of the beast. And I have identified that on this program as, if not the RFID chip, something very close to it, some kind of a tattoo, something that will electronically control your buying and selling. If you take that, you will go to hell, as John warns us. And then comes the fourth thunder. And another angel came out from the temple, crying with a loud voice, to him that sat upon the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, because the hour is come to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. So at the end of the Great Tribulation comes the Grim Reaper, and of course this occurs at Armageddon. Following the fourth thunder comes the seventh thunder. And I saw an angel standing in the sun. I'm not sure what this angel represents. It could be the prophet Elijah, or it could be some other human being. And he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the birds that did fly through the midst of heaven, come gather yourselves together to the great supper of God. Now I did not read all of the thunders in their entirety. I urge you to go, as I say, to my website, download this cryptogram. All the verses are listed there. You really should become acquainted with the entirety of what the 7 thunders shout out. They are critically important. Obviously, at this time, the fall of America is about to occur. People are not going to be prepared. I know most people are not going to watch this video, but they will once the chastisements start to fall on America. And then you will realize what you must do. And I have said many times what you must do to defeat the Antichrist. The weapons Jesus will use are Mary's rosary and scapular, just as David chose 5 smooth pebbles and a shepherd's sling to defeat Goliath. And if you would like more information about my ministry here on YouTube, visit my ThirdEagleMedia.com website.